Chill.
Hey everybody, welcome back to VFX and Chill. We are back from a little break. It was quite an exciting break because, as you can see there in our load screen, a certain Seth Worley, who's right over here, was on location in Canada at the Toronto International Film Festival, premiering Sketch.
A little
it's
movie.
Out there. People are seeing it. People are reviewing it. And Seth, my God,
I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, it's true. I love bringing a Trump impression into a conversation about my movie that I've been working on for so long. Yes, Sketch premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. We had 2 public screenings over the weekend, and there are 2 this next weekend. It was a blast. Reviews have been coming out and they seem to be pretty positive. People are responding to it. I am experiencing levels of validation and levels of dopamine that I have not experienced in my life, and it's incredible. And I'm grateful to everybody who came out to see it and who has spoken out about what they liked about it online, and to the thousands of people, I don't know if it's thousands, it has to be, of people who worked on the movie and at some point in the process and made it what it is. It's been a very exciting weekend for sure. It was interesting.
Yeah. Are there things that, what do you want to share about the week?
What was it first off, I held a puppy in one photograph. Second, these are actually playing in no particular order. This is just, I quickly pulled any most TIFF related things off my phone. That puppy shot's apparently coming up multiple times. They're supposed to be in random order, but apparently it's just going to play. So I did a photo shoot stuff for the first time. Here we go. Look at that sexy merman.
Look at that.
This is my first time. There's me meeting Jason Reitman. There's me and my cinematographer, production designer, and unit production manager. I'm here at the dog again. Let me see if I can change the order of these so it stops showing the dog photo so often.
I don't think you're losing any viewers for that.
That's true. I'm probably not, but just to be
I do love that in any of these photos, the other humans in each shot, it kind of could combine to reach your height in most of them.
It's 100% true. So this is my first time doing going through doing press for a movie. Being interviewed and particularly being photographed. And it's this assembly line, like car wash. They just you have your group of people, categorized by, grouped by movie. So you'll have Jason Reitman and the cast of Saturday Night coming in, and they roll through and they do their press. We cross paths with them frequently throughout the process. They'll go in a booth, they'll talk to somebody or be interviewed or get their photo taken, then they'll come out, you'll go in, your group will get singles and groups and stuff. And I learned so much about what to do with my hands in photographs and with my face. I had no training whatsoever in that area. I've appeared on camera a lot, and I've done interviews and on camera spokesperson stuff, but I've never done posing for a photo outside of a photographer friend or a couple round of headshots that my friend Daniel Miggs took of me years ago. It was very fascinating to watch people who knew what they were doing, like Tony, who had done it before and knew exactly what to do and how to be in control and how to enhance the creative process of it. It was a very fascinating experience for me. Met a lot of really cool
Did Tony
people.
fall into his Veep style role where he would just lean over and whisper this is this person?
As much as I wished he would. No, he was great because he would just ahead of time be I think it'd be fun if we did this, or I think so-and-so. And I don't know, I hope he's cool with me sharing this. He was you have to find something interesting to do or they might not. Sometimes they might not use the photo if you're just standing there. And so anyway, very valuable information I didn't know ahead of time. If any of our audience, hopefully gets to has done or gets to do this wonderful thing I got to do, there's some advice. Met a ton of cool people. Met Mark Hamill. That one I sent to Aaron Rabinowitz just to see if I could kill him with one text. Jason Reitman was very, very, very kind and very cool. So was Gabe. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his last name. Played Sammy Fableman, and he's playing Lorne Michaels in the Saturday Night movie. That he was the sweetest guy in the world. I'm not gonna roll through the list of people I met. That's stupid and name droppy. I'm really coming from a place of like total nerd. Holy shit! Look at this really cool stuff I got to do.
It's stupid. All of it.
It's true. It's true. Thank you, Han. But yeah. It was an amazing experience.
What an amazing accomplishment. That is so cool. And yeah, as Nick Smith points out in the comments, I've yet to see a review that was not, that was less than glowing. So it has been very, very cool to see that the public has their hands on the TIFF going.
Public.
Screening
if
attenders.
If you live in Toronto, you don't need like a festival pass. I believe you can just buy tickets and go see it. So. There's 2 screenings this weekend. Check it out.
Incredible. Well, that is fantastic. Feel free to ask any questions, and I'll get them in here to Seth if you have them. And otherwise, I believe that we are. Let's see. Frigby is asking if there's a trailer yet.
There's not. So, fun fact: we're using this as a learning experience, a teaching experience. I'll speak to whatever I can here. Ours is a sales title, so we showed up at TIFF looking for a buyer, and we have a wonderful team at UTA that is handling that. But for that means that we want to allow for that eventual buyer to market and release, to control how this movie is represented to the public and marketed. So we want to have this little marketing ahead of time of our own out, as little imagery of the movie released out as possible, so they have that control. And so as such, there is not a trailer to watch. There are a handful of stills that are out there you can find if you look for them. People Magazine did a really cool exclusive first look that has a bunch of stills from the movie that are not available anywhere else. Worth checking out. That's the answer to that question. I'll try to keep my answers a little shorter than that. Things feel quiet.
This is fascinating.
Here,
people don't do that all the time. Well, we are for the first time just streaming to our VFX and Chill channel. We are not streaming to the other channels and don't have a way to ask them to come join us here, which is a little bit unusual. So yeah, our numbers will be a little bit lower today. We are. We had some fun tech issues at the beginning too, which might
canceled out even more people that could be watching it. Yeah.
But hopefully, if you've come to our channel, you can find us streaming this right now. And if you've seen any of our promos or the thumbnail for this episode, we wanted to cover another exciting movie that is sure to receive just as positive reviews as Sketch, called the Minecraft movie.
Yes. Now, what you're seeing behind you is not from the Minecraft movie, because I forgot to pull up clips from the Minecraft movie. This is from something you made, Hashi, this week.
Yes, this was a fun little experiment. Let me see if I could probably share my screen here. Hey,
Hashi, real quick, Jason Murphy has a question though. Where's Michael?
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry, we didn't call in Michael right now.
Well, it's funny. That's what I was queuing you up for earlier. But you're right. It's also quiet because of our lack of people.
That's true. Well, is Michael on the call?
Let me see.
Can we
Michael,
check in?
Are you there? Oh God.
Oh goodness! You know what?
Oh, I forgot. He's at Camp Mograph this week.
He's at Camp Mograph. He elected to go to a camp in the woods on Friday the 13th.
Like anyone would. Yes, very thought out.
I think that he's muted as well. So
no, he's not muted. Michael just doesn't scream. If you've ever tried to get ADR from him for screaming for a gag you're doing in Germany by chance, the best you're going to get is a quiet, a quiet exhale.
No, thank you.
Oh no. But no, he is. That's him in his element there. Just still actively trying to moderate, posting things to social media.
Goodness, dedication.
We'll check back in with Michael later to make sure he's living. Have fun over there at Camp Mograph, Michael. We miss you. Anyways, so
yeah, Speaking of social media posts, we've made a couple this week, kind of relating to this episode. The background that you saw behind you earlier was the end result of this little stream of conscious tweets that we tried the other day, in which we grabbed this lovely Jack Black, who's playing Steve in the new Minecraft movie, and said for every like, his head will get more cube. This is
a fun thing to scroll on
than I thought.
Well, first off, I was going to say we should have made a zoetrope of this. If you blink fast enough while scrolling, it's pretty thrilling.
So the more people liked this tweet, the squarer or the cuber this head got. And then at some point, we were beyond as far as I thought that we were going to get. And so so at a certain point, things started getting bizarre.
Now, did you have a plan for this?
I had no plan. And in fact, I thought maybe I'd be able to come up with a plan while it was going. But I realized that once he was full frame, I didn't know what else to do. And so he eventually started reverting to Cosmic Steve form right here.
Now, Cosmic Steve, is that real? Is that a real thing for Minecraft? I don't know.
I don't think so. Okay. But then that eventually led to, I think that he's departed from the Minecraft realm and started heading toward Earth.
I love that so much. That's such a good shot.
Know what else to do. This is really fun because it's just 3 layers and super comp doing like all this cool atmospheric glow, and isn't that cool? Like look at this crazy light interaction. I also used light sweep on the foreground buildings to add shadow on them a little bit.
It wouldn't be a Hashi comp without light sweep.
Heck yeah. So that's where those came from. I had no plan after this. The only thing I could think of was basically the exact end of the original Pixels short. And it just didn't feel
yeah.
Which if you remember, goodness, I'm forgetting that creator's name.
I am too. But I remember Pixels when Plot Device came out and got to make the rounds and get general meetings and such from it. Pixels was the thing everybody was referencing as like one of the more recent success stories of like a internet short coming out and a movie being in development. I don't know if the movie was out by then or not, but that was
I don't remember. I never saw the movie. It felt like something that I would have seen at the time, but I did not.
Yeah. Oh well. Now what the hell are you doing here? Okay.
Oh, so
what we saw.
What the hell I'm doing here is yeah, so we had, I also earlier in the week, without getting completely lost in them, had tweeted out this little video imagining characters being slightly more cubed, kind of like they are in Minecraft. And it turned out that this was a very simple process, and I did actually post a mini tutorial on how to do it, which looks like this. Oops, I don't know if I'm playing. Am I feeding my audio to you? No.
I'm not hearing it, no.
Either way, I'm going to mute this for me. But basically, this is the very simple process of using this cool tool called the projection deformer.
Cool tool.
I put out this little teeny tutorial. A lot of people liked it, and I'm hoping that some people have tried playing around with or experimenting with it because it's very, very cool. So I have this Jack Black open here so I could demonstrate kind of how that works. It's a very, very easy process. And in fact, let me center this just to make it even quicker to demonstrate. So we've got him there. Let's clear away our work plane. If you have any object like this, and then you have another object that is larger than it, like this cube, I can make larger. And if I wanted to see through it or something like that, I could click on the cube and I could go to basic and say X-ray so you could sort of see how big it is comparatively. And in fact, I don't
him.
really need to see it at all. I can turn it off entirely. And then I could go down to this face extrude right here. And I'm going to add a projection deformer. So I'm going to drag that into the face mesh. The other thing that you could do is you could have a group that has
face mesh.
Your face mesh in it and the projection. And I kind of like that because then if you wanted to add additional things like if you were wearing glasses or had another hair object or something like that, if your deformer object is within a group with other things, it's going to do its deformation to everything in the group. So all you do for projection is you throw it in here, then you go down here to object and choose what object you want it to be projecting to. And I can say this cube, and I'll drag that right here. And right now, you'll see it's kind of bizarre. He's been flattened like that.
How bizarre.
It's not what I was doing in the final video, but this is useful if you do want to throw some kind of object onto another object. You can see these arrows are pointing in that direction. So projection also does one that is not just parallel, but directional. So when I do that, suddenly we get what we were after all along, which is this great Jack Black projected
it's so
into the cube.
Ridiculous. Now, help me understand why
satisfying.
How are we getting that wonderful, like, why are the edges not straight? Why are we getting the wonderful, like, normals feeling that we're getting on the sides?
It's actually that is all because of the way the geometry on this Jack Black happens to be set up. Let me go ahead here and go NB, which will show the actual wireframe that's in there. So right now, it
still takes that geometry into account on the cube then.
It absolutely does. And if you go to the projection deformer and grab the strength property, you can turn it up or down, which shows you this, which is really, really cool. And then something that is even a little bit, can even feel more confusing in a way. I ended up kind of turning the strength down a little bit because I kind of like when the cube head has just a little bit of depth still left over from the face, like the nose is kind of sticking out, but it's clearly still a cube. The location of the projection object really matters because it's where the vector, for the actual projection is taking place. So if you watch this, if I were to move the projection thing back in the cube, what do you expect to happen, Seth? Will the face get bigger or smaller if I move this back?
If you move it back, I would expect the face to get bigger, right? Oh, interesting.
So it gets smaller of that. So what this kind of means is it's now projecting from back here through the original shape.
Oh, it's taking
and the
less,
further back you get, the more it looks like it's projecting from here.
Oh.
But the more that it gets close to here, you start to see it wrap around like that. And what's kind of nice to know about this is that you can leave the cube in the same spot, but depending on where you put your projection deformer, there are definitely some funnier spots, either with the face very big that will just happen to give you a more interesting caricature. Somewhere around here probably maintains his face the best, but gives you this big forehead, and now you have the hair up there. But if you wanted the hair to come onto the forehead, you could try raising the projection object, and so it kind of lowers it. Now there's like Leo DiCaprio somehow. I can't
it weirdly
why.
does. It's the forehead. Hey, Nick Smith wants to know, can you dial the strength beyond 100 and get it to kind of go convex? Convex?
I don't believe that you can, but you can once you turn it up to 100%. Dial the offset up, or dial the offset down, and so there's some bizarre results for you. And one thing that I ended up doing for the one with my face was I was getting these little crackly edges and didn't like them. Right now I'm just using the luminance channel, so you're not actually even seeing the the annoying shading that would happen because of this. But if you wanted to, you could throw this object into a subdivision surface like this. But instead of throwing in the entire system with a projection and everything like that, what you want is you want a subdivision surface in the same group, and then whatever your geometry is inside of that. That way, when the projection tool is working, it's working with the subdivided version of your mesh. If you subdivided the whole thing, for example, you'll see that it subdivides, but what it's doing is it's still keeping the it's actually keeping the weird geometry and doing that. Though this one actually happened to look good at this juncture, but I promise what I was saying earlier does make sense. So yeah, here's a fun way to cubify heads. And so with that, we were able to create our lovely, let's see, where did I save all of us? It was probably under...
Oh, yeah. It's for thumbnail, but I forgot you made all of us.
Not sure if it got lost in the... lost when our stream had its little error earlier today. But
no, I added them. I uploaded it now to the...
thank you. So we do have
you're a freaking creeper. Makes me happy.
Hey, man.
I'm a creeper.
I think that when I first added the... goodness gracious, this camera is hard to control. I tried really messing with the focal length, but it's made it not want to translate anywhere. Fine, let's go to the default camera. I remember throwing your head into a cube, and this is just exactly where it landed with this amazing mohawk.
With the hair.
And so I just kept it. That was great. So
that's such a good choice.
There we go. I love it. We also just in the process of doing these Minecraft heads, just so you know, and now I'm just talking to my buddy Seth here, so he knows. In our Digital Humans folder, there is a Seth new head season 5, which I think finally actually looks reasonably like you.
Yeah, I think so. I think you made me a little too handsome. I think you've got me looking a little bit like, you know what? He looks a lot like this guy on Instagram that looks like me.
Oh yeah,
which I guess that makes sense
on Instagram.
Just the sentence itself explains it, but it also looks a little like the same mesh
as before, but reshaped based on a head scan you did for one of our Halloween episodes.
Oh, nice.
And so it ended up looking more like you.
Well, that face right there looks more like me actually than that other one, than the real one.
It really captures a lot of the of the essence. So anyway, this is very
the Dick Tracy villain amount of face compared to head, 100%.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if it was in Dick Tracy, it would probably be called Blockhead, which is simple.
Well, he reminds me of the actual Little Face, I think was the name of the villain who he reminds me of, which is just this giant head with this tiny face.
I remember seeing maybe some behind the scenes feature or still of him, and then wanting to see him more in the movie, but he's kind of barely in the movie.
I actually felt that way about all of the Dick Tracy villains. I remember getting the toys and memorizing all of them. You know, as a kid, you don't know that you can't, this many cool villains are not going to get that much screen time each. But I remember being just oh wow, they just freaking killed off marbles, or they a gruesome way by dumping cement on him and throwing him in the river.
And then
Little Face is right
execution
there.
Style stuck with me.
It was why is Flat Top getting all this attention? Yeah, I had the same kind of vibes too. I think my favorite. Now I'm gonna have to try to figure out what my favorite Dick Tracy villain was. You just keep hosting the show, and I'm gonna go look up Dick Tracy villains because that's what I do on the show.
That sounds perfect. I did want to mention that there is a wonderful tutorial by Dominic Ruckley that is about another process that you could also do, which I have set up right here. which is the voxelization of an object that you have. So obviously this is the a voxelized version of this model, and it uses the lovely node system within C4D. So the way this happens is this little setup right here. Let me see if I can share the link for Dominic's cool video in our chat. I'll see if I can share links to videos. I don't know if if I'm allowed to, or if I need to switch over to Chill.
Have to switch over to Chill.
I think it pasted there. Didn't tell me it can't. So.
By the way, I love that one is just called Shoulders. That's legitimately funny to me.
Shoulders. I love it. Goodness gracious. Look at these characters.
You got Shoulders, Steve the Tramp, the Stooge, the Rodent, Prune Face, the Brow, Big Boy Caprice. So I love Seth Green has I've heard him say he has a theory that Pacino had, like, if you look back at everything pre-Dick Tracy, he was actually like a very soft-spoken, restrained actor. And then...
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, after Big Boy...
Is this what broke his voice?
He never came back from Big Boy. It was just like big Pacino.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Because, like, you forget that, like, Michael Corleone speaks like...
Oh, Michael Corleone is barely audible in the film. 100%. Sorry, not 100%.
Amazing.
He's at like 5%, like 1% performance. And then, yeah. Golly, I loved this movie so much as a kid. I've talked about my Dick Tracy birthday party on the show, I believe. If I haven't, then everyone tell me I haven't, and I'll do it next week, or I'll do it this week.
Don't worry, I still have access to your home videos. I'll make
Good. Good. Oh, yeah. Did we do that on show or not? Where we talked about your Indiana Jones party and my Dick Tracy party?
Oh, yeah. That sounds familiar then.
But I don't know if that was on the show or not. Viewers out there, was that on the show, or was that me and Hashi on our own? Did we talk about Hashi's Indiana Jones party and my Dick Tracy party? While we wait on answers from many viewers who run our wiki that exists and remember all of the details of our So Michael Pollack says he does not recall this, which tells me...
Okay. And so Michael Pollack, our archivist, did not recognize the banter. So that must mean that we've got to figure out how to do that. Based on the will of the chat, I feel like it's very clear that we're just taking a hard turn into this being a Dick Tracy episode.
It might. Here's what I think we say we do. We actually missed we have to go take a break real quick. When we come back, let's dive into this next thing you're about to dive into because it's very cool. And then after the break after that, we'll talk about our birthday parties and Dick Tracy related things. And then we'll come back to see where we go from there. That work?
Sounds great. We'll be back after this.
On Oppenheimer, we chose a practical route. Capturing everything in camera, even when it was strongly advised against by the production team, safety officers, and certain members of the cast, even when it would enhance the film or correct visible mistakes, I avoided CGI at all costs. It wouldn't be honest. It wouldn't be authentic.
When you do Chris's movies, things that when you read a script you normally would think would be visual effects, you know that you're going to be doing this stuff practically.
You can't film something made of CGI with a camera. I've tried. Bloody terrible.
Chris makes films for theaters, for movie-going audiences.
You look at the film Memento, no CGI. Batman Begins, no CGI. The Dark Knight, still not a trace of CGI. The one with Anne Hathaway, zero CGI. You're beginning to get the picture, yeah?
It really speaks to Chris and the way he directs. All of the energy goes around the camera.
Working with this whole team was such a great camaraderie, and with the commonality of we are going to get this in camera. I love Chris's dedication to that.
I mean, perhaps if we could build the computer inside the camera.
All right.
Wise words from filmmaker
Christopher Nolan. Thank you, Chris, for everything. We'll miss you. Rest in peace.
Goodness.
Well, he didn't die in that. Everyone else did. So, back to that. So, Hashi, you're about to show us something very cool. What is this?
Absolutely. So this is one of the fun ways that you can use the node system in Cinema 4D. Now, it's a very it's a difficult process because I understand it, but I don't think that I could have created it offhand. There are some wonderful tutorials on using the node system from the Maxon training team, including another one where Noseman shows you how to voxelize even volumetric VDBs or clouds or explosions and things like that. So anyway, I will try to give a little overview of what is happening here. So if you have one of these like scene node objects up here, what it basically does is it has a handful of inputs and then an output in a way. So, and in between, a handful of different operators happen. So this particular one basically takes in this face mesh right here. And the face mesh is attached here, and its geometry feeds out to several different selections. The first and most important is that it goes to this volume voxel fill operator, which is just taking the original geometry and filling it not dissimilar to the way if you had an object and you threw it into a volume builder, that would be creating, a volume out of voxels. You could determine things like the size of the voxel right here, and then send it off to something called an iterate, the collection. So in this case, it's taking all the information from your voxel, feeding it to this collection object, where it can feed its matrix over here to a matrix operator. The input to this matrix operator is a mesh primitive object.
Matrix operator, you're talking about Joe Pantaleone, right?
Specifically Joe Pantaleone.
Specifically.
So there are so many wires connecting everything here. I'm describing it, I'm overly describing this, but what you basically have is geometry feeding to, a volume builder, and it tells it to iterate by using the matrix that's created by here and filling it with cubes right there, and then feeding it to this last operator. And just this object could go straight out and give you, I believe, just the cubes from this collection here, like that, which is very neat. But it's even cooler that you can grab something like this and have it connected to, have it being shaded by this color operator, which is actually using a little shader field here, which is something that you might use if you're ever using fields to blend between two shaders. Like you want to have, your football field turn from green on one side to, dead grass on the other, and use a field to operate that. You can use a shader field to do something like that. And in this case, this shader field is something that is determined by sampling the original object for one of its colors and feeding it through to the color channel right here. So very, very cool. It's a wonderful system explained beautifully by Dominic in the video linked in the description. And also feel free to check out Noseman's description of how to do this with a volume object like a pyro output or a VDB. And you can do, and once you have your scene node object like this, you can always bake them into geometry and do something like this. Boop. So fun little transition there. What I'm actually doing is I took the original few frames and then just EB synthed them on top of the cubes and just faded them out.
Oh, really?
So you could have this kind of fun little transition like that. You could do this with content-aware fill too. You would just cut out the put Jack Black's face on the first frame, and then key out the cubes for the following frames. But have content-aware fill here run in surface mode, I think. And if you press play, you'll get something like that, which is kind of cool. Anyway, all of these were some things that I was reminded of by thinking about Minecraft and things existing in Cinema 4D.
That is extremely cool. Sorry, I'm going to make sure that we are public and not unlisted. We are public, just nobody cares. Not nobody. 17 of you do, and we love you. Okay.
We do. We are trying to share resources and
so
unable to broadcast as wide as we wanted to today.
Our colleagues are at IBC right now, and they're streaming all day. And I should open up Teams and make sure that that they're not screaming at us like, "You're ruining everything." Saying, hey. But
incredible.
There's a chance we took down the company by going live today. I'm going to check and make sure that's not the case. Okay, I'm sorry, I lost you, Hosh. Where were you here? There's no way you walked through the entire thing yet.
I walked through it as far as I understood it. I don't think that I could teach people how to recreate it properly without basically just reopening Dominic's thing and then stepping through it.
You showed me a cool thing where you had... Well, so here's there's a couple things I want to try. Back when the Lego movie came out, I wanted to create a Lego explosion the way that they do in the Lego movie. And we were talking about VDBs. And by we, I mean Stu was helping me try to figure things out about that, and people were pointing me toward that. And I started watching something, and that was when I was I was fully terrified of Cinema 4D. It's like over 10 years ago or so. So maybe not over, but almost 10 years ago. And I didn't get very far with it, but now I'm looking at this and I'm like, maybe we can do it. I want to see if you can make like a blocky explosion. Could you put pyro into that?
Let's see. There are a couple things that I would need to maybe figure out a little bit on the fly. So let's see. I'm going to a new project just because I feel a little bit safer that way. If I were to go into here and then I went and said, on this sphere, let's add a simulation tag, pyro emitter. You've seen this delightfulness before. It goes right into creating a beautiful... Pyro. Look at it. So the goal would be to make it and so you could actually see this rendered as actual, like physical blocks or something like that. And it's funny because your voxel size, in a way, you can imagine what it's supposed to look like, when you see it from when your voxels are a little bit more visible. So let's see if we can figure that out. One thing that I feel like would work is if you had, like, say, a cube, and we'll say that its size is like 5 centimeters. Okay. Whoops. Oh, 55. We'll make this little 5 centimeter cube. And then I want to see if this works. If I were to create a cloner, and for the mode, I said object. And then in the object, I put the pyro output.
There's no way in hell
would
that's going to work.
Okay, let me...
That seems too easy.
Let's see. What I need to do? I would need to turn off the... Yeah, this probably won't work.
Spider-Man, turn off the... this probably won't work.
Okay, so what might be happening here? See, now what I'm curious about is if... wait, if I disable it, am I disabling the visibility or am I disabling...
I would expect the...
Yeah, so not quite. So I'm incorrect there.
We can't drop pyro into the volume builder, can we? Wait, yeah, we can.
You're wrong.
No, we can.
We can drop it into a volume builder. So maybe pyro going into a, or is pyro the volume?
Then put it into a volume mesher. We did this once.
Yeah, we can put we can put pyro into a volume mesher. And that's a very cool thing. Whoops, volume mesher.
Sorry, I want to give credit to Nick Smith for recommending this.
Thank you, Nick Smith.
Mesher. And I believe this is how you made that weird liquidy thing.
We made like ketchup one year and stuff like that. And I think on the pyro output, I can go to. Oh, no, this is what I can do. I can just make it not visible in the.
And yet it's still visible.
Wait, I feel like I know this annoying trick.
We might have taught this on the show.
What have I done? We have taught this on the show before, and I'm forgetting how to do it. Volume object. Okay, well, first of all, let's go quickly to this, and let me see if, as I turn this up or down, maybe it did have to go into into this. Okay.
Drop the pyro object into a volume builder and then into a volume mesher.
So it is into a volume builder.
Yeah. And then ensure that the pyro object's density and other relevant channels are set to on for export. I don't know. That's what it says.
Okay. So that would be over here. Okay, there we go. Color, temperature. If I turn that on, then it's going to try to be calculating a little bit more. Like, all right, let's see. So if I turn the voxel size down, it gets closer to that. So I know that we're doing this, and what I feel like I want to happen is I want the, if the voxel size was, for example, 5 centimeters, I want somehow that volume to, look at that volume type fog. Looks like this. Let's see if
we really want it to. How do you get that pyro visibility to go away?
Why don't I remember this? Because we used to be able to do that too. Pyro
tag. Yeah, just toggle stuff off. Like temperature, density, turn it all off there, the checkboxes.
See, if these ones are off here, then it should do nothing from the beginning.
Wait, so turn it back on and then just start from the beginning of the comp.
Was I just locked in my
turn everything back on. I don't think everything's back on.
There's
still some stuff. There we go. Wait, okay.
Okay. So it's generating an object under there. And can I go filter geometry only? No. Why doesn't this turn off its visibility?
Spider-Man, turn off its visibility.
Goodness gracious. This is upsetting me. Because I feel like you need the density.
On export, maybe, or
set on.
No.
See, it doesn't count it then. Why? That's just making me upset.
Go back to the first frame. I feel like it's something about the.
Okay. All right. You know what? What was our? I'm doing this. I'm sorry. I'm getting obsessed now. I want to know.
And obsession.
Okay, when was it? We had what was our finale the time before? It was this one. Okay, so we had a finale, and then we had a premiere. Oh, then we had the actual premiere. And then under 3D stuff, ghost liquid test, ketchup pour.
Okay.
Okay, so what do we have going on here?
Okay.
So here, for example...
Might have just been that project file.
Yeah. Bizarre. Yeah, so we know that you can... Yeah, and in this case, the pyro output was directly in the volume mesher. It wasn't even doing a...
Okay.
So anyway, so yeah, like this, I guess we got closer here. So let's... I'm just going to leave. I've got to close this Seth file. All right. This is upsetting me. Okay, so let's take a look back to here. We'll take a look at what our situation here is, where what we're doing is we're using the volume voxel fill operator as a way to generate this matrix of cubes. So in theory, if we had something like this sphere, let's dive into this voxelizer test project. And we'll set it on fire. Simulation tags, pyro emitter, and we'll press play, blah, blah, blah. There's some fire there. So we know it's there, and yeah, for some reason, when I turn it off by this visibility, that doesn't seem to do it. Same here. So I'm so curious about that because our old one seemed like it did. But I am curious to know if this pyro output would give us a, if I drag it down here into the node editor, it looks like it does give us a matrix array out. So instead, if I connected this matrix operator, instead of coming from this to come from here, let's see what happens. In theory, all this would do is create little cubes on here. With the pyro in the way, I can't tell what it's doing.
We don't necessarily want the cubes from the pyro because those cubes are moving. We want it to feel like the cubes are changing and representing, like they're changing and representing the form. Does this make sense? Like,
this does. This is all making me think that what I need to do is just go over to, where is it?
What are you thinking?
This is going to be a, let's see, where are you? Noseman.
Just asking him. Oh.
So, like literally, volumes to voxels in Cinema 4D. Noseman does have a little 5-minute video about doing.
Of course he does.
This
Noseman.
Specific thing.
Yeah,
look at that.
Noseman
He even shows you how to
drop.
colorize them, everything like that. And yeah, beautiful examples.
So if you want to actually learn something, head on over to the Maxon Training Team channel and watch everything.
Good gravy. Okay, so what's he doing? He has a volume loader. He has a cloner. Okay. And the cloner is a cloner object using a grid array. Okay, is that possible over here?
I think anything is
possible. I love the like how invested I was in that. It's like only 6 minutes, but part of me wants to be able to look at it and understand it just by skipping around it like that. I want to be able to create a cloner object and use a... So now I want to know, okay, is there a different cloner? generator. No. Goodness. Let's just watch someone else's YouTube while we're on this channel.
Watch YouTube and watch other people's YouTube and chill. This is the name of this episode.
Okay, cloner in a grid array. So what's happening here? Okay, and so now, it's using, interesting. So this may not be doing quite what we're imagining. What it's doing is we're taking a grid array and then using a plane effector with a volume loader as a field. That's really cool. I can't tell how exciting this will be to try to replicate, though.
Well, you know what? While you figure that out, let's take a quick break. And we'll
Let's
be
do
right
it.
back. Welcome back. If you joined us during that, then very cool. Thank you for joining us in the middle of a 5-second or 10-second time span. They gave us plenty of time to figure out if what Hashi's about to do was going to be interesting or not. And I determined through scientific process that it is. But first, we made a promise to our viewers. And we intend to fulfill and live up to that promise. And so while I figure out if I have anything incriminating or weird on my desktop, I'm going to keep stalling just for a little bit until I finally go to my screen now. So,
yes.
Here you'll see what is behind this. Oh, that's the thing. I'll get rid of that. That's the chat. Okay. So, Dick Tracy. This is me trying to answer your question, by the way. Okay. You caught me. This is for not your question, but Nick Smith. You said Little Sammy Fableman. I want to understand it. It's from the film The Fablemans, right? Like Sammy Fableman is the main character in The Fablemans. I'm only explaining it because I didn't plan for my perplexity screen to come up on screen. But Ryan Pauly is consistently referred to him as Little Sammy Fableman. And I feel like they refer to him as that in the movie at some point. But now you're making me question everything and whether Polly just made that up and just calls him Little Sammy Fableman. Anyway, that was a weird digression. Let's get back to some other weird digressions, which to show you my Dick Tracy birthday party I had. I believe this was 91. I was in first grade. 91, I would have been turning, I'm not going to do the math, 7? 7. And so what my mom did, when you showed up, there were crime scenes everywhere. Like the whole thing was a crime scene. Now, granted, all of my birthday parties, you showed up and there'd be a crime scene. There's little Sethy Fableman there, walking around in his Dick Tracy trench coat, which, by the way,
I love it so much.
That trench coat was clearly like beige, not yellow, but it was good enough for me. And then I had some idiot friend who showed up in his perfect yellow trench coat, and I was jealous. But that's okay. That trench coat was quality. So the station she had right here.
You look a little bit like Eddie Valiant and Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. And Tom Hanks at the end of Big. Or the kid at the end of Big. Post Tom Hanks. So there's my brother. All right, so here's everybody showing up, and they get a Polaroid of themselves taken. I don't have permission from any of these kids to be showing this, so don't memorize their faces. They're all adults now. There's my friend. I don't remember which friend that is who showed up in a perfect Dick Tracy costume. And then someone showed up in their karate uniform. So the deal was you checked in, you got you got like an ID. You decided if you were going to be a detective or a criminal, but then you ended up solving the case anyway. But she had basically a scavenger hunt, like all of these like crime scenes set up all over the place. Like over here on this fence was like pictures, like like pieces of paper that she had like in Sharpie made it look like bullet holes had written letters, and they were spread all over the fence.
Incredible.
And you basically went from crime scene to crime scene, getting clues until you finally found the birthday cake. Now, super fun. The greatest part to me was the commitment to the Dick Tracy canon and having a magician that was nothing about Dick Tracy.
Digital magic.
Sure, George. So was having this incredibly dressed magician show up.
Digital.
Wow. So this is just going to keep happening. This illusionist doing illusions for the majority of the party. I mean, look, you see the scrubbing on the timeline. This was the Dick Tracy part. These were the illusions. So yeah. Do you have footage of your Indiana Jones party? I kind of dropped this on you without warning.
Oh my goodness. It's a good question. I might. Let's see. It would be, if so. Oops. The drive isn't plugged in. Let's see.
Hey, Lada, you're right.
Goodness gracious.
I did. And never forget that I had a good childhood. I'm gonna rub it in your face.
Let's see. Let me see. I might explore these off screen.
Go for it.
I have no
Frigby,
idea
you're
which
trying to compliment my tucked in shirt, Frigby. Well, guess what? Compliment this. Oh wait, it's not fully tucked. Whoops. All right. That didn't work. Also, pointing at your waistline, toward your waistline, and saying compliment this isn't necessarily the most appropriate thing to do. And I, believe it or not, didn't realize it before I did it.
You're going to get your first taste of fame, but immediately get us canceled
Immediately
from this show.
Get canceled. Soon to happen. It's bound to happen. By it, I mean that drop that we designed months ago and have yet to trigger until today. We finally did it.
Yeah, in our defense, we thought we would be much more offensive more often.
Much earlier.
See, I have not found that birthday party, but I did find the Miami Vice stunt show from
I went too
Universal
early.
Studios.
Oh,
no, that's all right. Oh my goodness.
You were I forgot. You've shown me some of this. You were experiencing my dream as a kid, is to go on the Universal Studios like studio tour circa 1990, whatever this was.
Look at this. I got to go on Universal tour when it was still dressed for Back to the Future 2.
Oh, it's incredible.
This was insanity. And granted, I don't know how long they kept it, future.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been 89, 90, right? Was when they did it, or when it came out.
So yeah, look at that. I just remember the stuff so well. I was so excited.
Oh man!
Earthquake ride.
Have I told you about my dad and the earthquake
parting
ride?
Of the waters.
I told you, but have I told you on show about my dad and the earthquake ride? My dad.
I think you need to describe this.
I love my dad so much. So
goodness.
We went on the earthquake ride like I was almost an adult by the time. I was in high school by the time we went to Universal in California, and we did the studio tour. You get to the earthquake part, and it's like,
all right, yeah. Stop me, Sharon, for a second. I'm gonna explore for a second.
This set like collapses, and water pours in and everything. And my dad, anytime he sees any movie scene in any movie where a subway station experiences any kind of disaster, my dad's like, we've been there. We've been right there. And I'm like, Dad, they did not film that on the earthquake portion of the Universal Studios ride. Like, that is a theme park that was made for a theme park, that part. He's like, I mean, it looks like it to me. It's the most dad thing, and it makes me so happy that he's like convinced that specifically the scene in Die Hard with a Vengeance where the subway blows up, that they utilize the Universal Studios studio tour earthquake portion of the tour. It makes me very happy. I'm going to click on this and we're going to share it before I read the whole thing. Nick Smith says, when I was little, I had a fireman themed birthday party. My dad made a Dalmatian cake and had to add so much black food coloring to make the spots that turned all the kids' teeth and tongues black. Excellent. Excellent story.
Yes.
Keep them coming. My dad made me a Jabba the Hutt birthday cake, Michael Pollack says, but it looked like a brown pickle. Brown pickle.
Well, can't imagine anything.
Fugitive Trainwreck was done on the
not worked out
Universal
about
ride. Yes, Pollack. The Fugitive Trainwreck was done on the Universal ride.
It was.
We should do an episode on the Fugitive Trainwreck. That would bring Todd Vaziri on to talk about it.
We would. Anyway, I don't think I will find this quickly enough.
That's okay. Hey, everybody, thanks
Surprisingly.
for tuning in. We're going to jump back into trying to make some fun things happen within this cool Voxel workflow that Hashi found. Can I go back to your screen yet, or no? Is that a no?
Yeah, I should be able to go back to my screen right now. I have, let's see, what have I done? All right. What I'm trying to do is I've set up this this cloner grid right here. Let me see. I'm going to turn up my per step amount just a little bit so you can maybe see the separation. I've created a whole bunch of cubes, and because they're in a cloner, I think that if I have a plane effector, and for its parameter, I check visibility, and then I go to fields, and I have my pyro output in here. Wait, isn't that nuts? So I was definitely hoping that would have worked. So why isn't my plane? Okay, is the cloner being affected by it? Oh, it's not being affected by it yet.
Always check your effectors. Whoa! What?
Okay. Try not to get too excited here.
Don't get excited.
Oh, I just want to be able to see it.
Oh, we want to see it. It's going to look so cool.
Wait, I can move the cloner over, right? Oh, no, I can't. Oh, why not?
Is it in the tag? Is the tag what's causing this? Like, can you mute the sphere?
I'm a little confused.
Try muting the sphere. Not that, but like turning...
See, I can hide the sphere. I can uncheck it there, but now there was nothing generating the...
That looked cool.
Okay, it's doing it in there. Okay, what if I uncheck pyro enabled? No, then it goes away too. This is some silliness. I should be able to just do that. Options. Can I turn off anything here?
I guess that's fire and smoke. It's going to be,
okay. Does it matter what?
No, it's you're in the viewport.
Mode I'm in?
I don't think so. You're in the viewport. It's not going to do that. What about...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What about pyro scene in your pyro output? What happens if you go down there and do something?
Pyro scene, it's here. Pyro, voxel size, create output object. Oh, draw pyro.
Bah! We found it.
Finally. Goodness gracious.
Well, this looks rad already.
Okay, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Let's see if this were slightly smaller. Okay, home videos are just trying to pop up and appear on screen. Okay, this is pretty neat.
Pollack and Lada, you guys are
we now have
riding the edge of appropriate. I am not going to... No, go ahead. Just I'm not going to...
Good.
Not going to leave that for posterity. Burn that into the image, the visuals of the show.
Wow. Okay. So here we go. So here's a very straightforward setup of converting a volume like this into a cloner. So what's happening here, courtesy of Noseman's technique, I'll turn this off for a moment. We have this whole grid of all these potential cubes that could exist. But we've added a plane effector, and on the cloner, there's a little tab for effectors. You can have the plane effector in there. And within the properties of our plane effector, we checked the visibility box right there and used as the field for it the pyro output. For it. Amazing. Okay, so this is pretty cool. What I'm a little bit curious about is where the color is coming from, because I like it.
Yeah.
But I also don't. I truly don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if it is coming from any property of the pyro, or if it is just a property of our cloner somewhere.
Oh, yeah, it's the cloner probably. Hang on. Go to our plane.
Oh, maybe that. Oh, the field color.
Yeah.
There we go. If I have it off, it'll be just that again, which is pretty cool. I feel like Lego Movie had something kind of like that.
Effector color?
Effector color means that I need to add in some kind of a color effector or maybe a shader field. But see, custom color is also just picking a color, but the field color is really cool.
It's cool.
So
custom color. I'm trying to think of how you can get like a fire gradient, like fire ramp going.
Oh yeah, good call. So if I did a custom color right here, I could say,
turn your SAT up.
See, how could I turn this into a?
Good question.
I don't know. Custom color. Right now, this is only showing like one.
Oh wait,
spectrum.
You do it by the
whatchamacallit
color. Like so, instead of custom color, go to what is it called? In color mode, click color mode. Nope.
Yeah.
Effector color, and your effector is. Oh, I was trying to see if you could color it based on the cube or based on the. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, you could have. You could put a, some kind of like a yellow shader on the cube that's getting cloned.
Yes.
And then you'd multiply the random field color through it, sort of.
Yeah. Like
so something like this, and
almost
then let's
like a texture
go to
of like fire or something on it, and then.
So I'll say the field's color now. I want it to be added to it, multiplied by it.
Not doing anything.
I can't really see it doing anything.
Yeah, me either.
It was the field color, right? Alpha strength. Whoops. Okay. Clearly something that is worth putting some more research into, I think. Because this is cool.
Very cool. I think we're close.
And the fact that it's... And like, look at this. I love that so many of these kinds of effects are interactive, just to like test how their physics are working.
Absolutely.
Also on the pyro object, let me go to the pyro tag on the sphere, and I can change that from surface to volume.
Ooh.
And now we have maybe more what we were expecting, where it's full.
Turn off the density and just have the temperature.
Good idea. Let's try that.
Unless you can have the pyro influence the color of the cubes.
Okay, so the okay.
Oh, I see.
Density.
Oh, I meant in the.
Though that might be because of the.
I meant on the output, not on the.
Wait, on the what?
Simulation. No, object. Sorry, object, not pyro scene. Turn off density. Never mind. I'm wrong. I thought that would get rid of the smoke.
No, I mean it makes sense. Yeah, I feel like that should have also. It's possible that maybe in my plane effector, there's a way to say on the pyro output what layer. Oh yeah, what layer? Just the temperature only. Is not giving me anything, but the density is. But I can turn off temperature so it's not wasting its breath. And then in theory, maybe from its, on the effector under the color parameter.
Today's
color,
comment all-star,
effector,
Nick
color.
Smith, wants to know if instead of using pyro, would it put a particle sim be better and just use a cube for the particle type? Well, no, because here's why. Actually, I'll answer that because it's good, but I don't want to. The look I'm looking for is not. I don't want to see a cube originate and then be able to track that cube. I want the cube layout to change every frame. So it's like a stop motion Lego explosion rather than being a bunch of Legos moving in an explosion like path. Does that make sense? I'll take your silence.
So
yes.
Just for fun.
Okay. All right.
Doing a little, just for funsies, let's do one of these. That is smaller.
Can you build
Europe. I feel like I should have been able to do this much faster.
Faster than I would have done it.
Okay. Whatever. This is too tall, right? This is the cube part. Made that this little project with a plane existing in it for physics tests, my default project, and immediately regretted it and just haven't gone back. Let's do that, and let's do a little bit. Oh, I forgot I can do that. There we go. Let's connect and delete. We'll call this a Lego. Make it smaller, and we'll copy this into here. Paste that into there. It's definitely bigger than 5 centimeters. But let's just see what happens. That looks fun. That looks fun. I like it.
That is fun.
I'm going to go to that field color again. Yes. This is incredibly satisfying to me. Let me go to the cloner per step. Should probably be a little bit more spread out. Less in Y. There we go. Now they're connected.
That's fun.
And let's see, what is their spacing in this direction? It all depends on what. Okay, it looks like the Legos I created are incidentally about 8 centimeters. Okay, so that's them on grid.
This looks like it
That's
totally
pretty
belongs
cool.
in the Minecraft movie. You know what I mean? Like the color, like, this is very fun.
It does.
Man.
And speaking of like trying to do something in kind of a Minecraft color, I realized that one of the cool things that you could use for something like Minecraft color, let's just create a cube. I'm going to create a new Redshift material right here. And then let's open it up here. Oops. Why am I not seeing my thing? I was having this trouble earlier. I felt like I wasn't seeing my pop-out windows.
Huh.
Now it makes me want to. Maybe I should just I should restart. What have I done? Let's save this one first of all, because I haven't saved it. Lego. No, I just think that I might want to restart.
I'm noticing it's laggy for us too. I'm working on it.
Goodness. Let's see. Let's say no to everything else. And I'm just going to quickly restart here. I was noticing this pre-show when I had all the 4,000 things open that
just cinema.
My
not your computer.
Whatchamacallit? No, yeah, just cinema. I wasn't getting the pop-up alerts from like when I was like in Audition and trying to do that kind of stuff. It was things were just not popping up. But yeah, we're gonna try to get our stream a little less laggy.
We'll try to get a little less laggy, and also let's just
quick start.
I'm gonna real quick open up. I have After Effects open. I'm just gonna purge and quit because I'm not using it today for anything. Cool. It's useless. I'm off tiffed out.
There we go. Oh no, this is working just fine. Yeah, I just done something weird to it earlier.
Okay, let me see.
All right. So in here, what I should have been able to do earlier is just double click into my little Redshift material here, and just for now, I'm going to pick a generic kind of greenish color that might work well for the grass. I'll turn its roughness up because it shouldn't be so shiny. And then one node that I could add to it would be, I can just type noise. Whoops. Is that what I meant? Oh, here's what I meant. I'm going to search for noise, and specifically Maxon noise. I'll put one of those in there and then close this, and I can drag it over here and attach it to my color right there. And I'm going to say on my type of noise, I'm going to go to box noise.
Oh, hey.
And turn down the number of.
Hey, Jamie.
Jamie! All right, what was I doing now? I was going to say. Absolute. Oh. Oh no, I figured this out earlier. Why am I not doing it correctly now?
You're wrong.
Goodness, Seth, I feel like I'm just blowing all of these things that I thought that I had figured out.
Refresh your brain. We gotta take a break. We'll be right back.
That poor man. Welcome back, everybody. I, before the break, was forgetting myself in some cool things that you could do with some Redshift materials, but we're back, and I'm remembering a little bit more. So I'm here in Cinema 4D, and just in a standard material, I realized that you can pump some Maxon noise into it like that. And what I had done incorrect was it's cell noise, not box noise. I just remembered incorrectly.
Obviously.
So if you do that and you turn the number of octaves down, actually, I guess octaves shouldn't matter. It's effectively complexity. So check this effect out. It's just a very simple way to have a cell noise pattern between two objects, and you can, change the seed, do things like that. And I feel like that.
I forget that the Minecraft blocks are not solid blocks; that they have their pixelated textures to them. That helps. That helps with the look. So, yeah,
which is pretty cool. And like you could, try connecting some different things. Like you could connect the, luminance to the roughness, and then you can get sort of a more complex looking reflection pattern on the top like that. You could even have it connected to the transmission, or make it into a bump map kind of thing. So when it did finally get rendered out, you would have a little bit of raised bit to each of these. If you wanted to do something that looked like Minecraft, but a little just like a hair neater. You'll also see these like this little QR code shadow down here on the floor that is actually coming from just this plane up here that has the same kind of texture on it. Check it out. So it's just a plane with a very similar kind of material where you're just using that same kind of Maxon noise, and you can